Hi, Nakita. I'm so excited to do this conversation with you today, and thank you for making the time for this interview.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I'm excited.
So, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the viewers, but before that, I want to tell them how you introduce yourself in two lines, and I think it's amazing. Nakita says that she helps women drop their excuses so that they can actually make their God sized authorship dreams come to fruition. And I think that's amazing. More from you, Nakita, a little bit about what you do.
Yes. I mean, you really summed it up. That is who I am. I mean, I can give you the politically correct bio, when I'm getting ready to do a speech, but really and truly, I'm a woman of great substance, a woman of wisdom. Um, right. No pun intended, but I'm a woman of faith. I am an ordained minister, so that's huge in what I do in my faith, in my background. So I'm a hashtag Jesus girl. That's who I am and what my family stands on. I love to empower other women. I call them my queens because I believe that they are royalty and I want them to drop their excuses and live out their God-sized dreams. I want them to play their royal position. As a matter of fact, I have a platform called the Queen Experience, and it's all about helping women drop the excuses, the things that's holding them back, the things that's stopping them from being great and achieving great things so that they can play their royal position. And that simply means doing the thing you were put on this earth to do so you can impact millions lives all over the world. I mean, just like you, right, Queen? You're in India and I'm all the way here in Atlanta, Georgia, but here we are right now in this moment, sharing this moment, empowering women all over the world with our book and all over the world with this message right here. So that's what I mean. The excuse easily could have been for you, it's too early. The excuse easily could have been for me, it's too late, right? Because it's in the morning for you and it's past midnight where I am, right? But we didn't do that. We understand that our calling is greater. So outside of that, I am a wife to my childhood sweetheart. I am a mom of two amazing kiddos. I've got a 2-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter. So literally, I've got the best of both worlds in my house, which makes for a very lively bunch. Right now, they're asleep, so that's fantastic. That means I can be on this call with you. So that's really who I am. Outside of that, I am a publisher. I'm a proud publisher. The name of my publishing company is Jesus Coffee and Prayer, and we are the #1 Christian publishing house in the land. We help women all over the globe birth their book baby because that's exactly what it is when you're birthing a book. So we help them for the full service from the cover to the editing to getting out past writer's block. We help them have a polished book that sells. We help them with the marketing. We help them with the PR so that they can get the right press and the right interviews so their book can make an impact into the earth. And then we also help our women step on stage so they can get speaking opportunities so they can further propel their message into the world. So I know I just said a lot, but I said all that to say that I am the bomb.com. No,
You totally are, and that bit makes me want to know you even more. And I must tell the viewers that in this entire journey of us writing the book together, Nakita, and we've all been obviously communicating on a group. But the beautiful part is that she has this style and this spunk, and you do, Nakita, which is so fun. Like you'll write a post, and there'll always be this whole thing that okay, wait, there's some positivity coming, and there's some brand news coming, and I think it's
yes.
brilliant. So, and that's the beauty about this book that we've written, that each one of us has come from such different backgrounds and we come with such different qualities and traits and styles and just the whole experience of supporting each other and doing this together. I think that's
Yes. I mean, it is amazing when you get, I'm telling you, Queen, when you get women from all over the world, different backgrounds, different views, but we have the same common goal. I mean, you can just, we are impacting the world. I mean, and it's such an amazing, I feel super duper blessed to be a part of this project and to connect with all of you all. I feel like, anytime I birth a book or I'm a part of a book, I feel like it's a sisterhood. And now I've just added that 23 more sisters, 23 more queens, to my arsenal to where we can connect and support each other in the book and outside of the book. So those connections are being made. It's pretty awesome.
Fantastic. So tell me about any one line. Of course, the book is about your why, like why you took the leap to do what you're doing. But is there any one particular line or one particular moment that you'd like to share right now with me?
Yes. So my whole concept that I tell folks, so the name of my chapter, I'm chapter 13, is Stop and Smell the Roses. Excuse me. So I want you to stop and smell the roses because that's what had to take place in my life for me to be in this position now, because I was definitely what you call I've always been a go-getter, always been a glow-getter, and moving and shaking, and I've been really blessed in my career. But 15 years in corporate America, and I was what you call climbing the corporate ladder, and that was what I was told. Get out of high school, go to college, get a good job, work for a big firm, make tons of money, have your house and your 2.5 kids and a white picket fence, and that's it. But I always knew that there was more and there was greater. And because I was always in the hustle and bustle, I was not taking time to stop and smell the roses. In the job that I had to travel all around the country and internationally as well, skilling up leaders and in management. And that was fantastic. But what slowed me down was the very thing that propelled me into what I am today and into my greater. And that slowdown was being with child with my son, because when you're pregnant, okay,
Yeah.
you can move around, but you have to do it with caution and care because you're carrying a precious bundle of joy. And so for me, that slowed me down, but it gave me such a great respect to do better, and to also be in the moment. And while I was in that moment, really God brought back to me a love that I had when I was a child, which was writing. And so it really, I don't want to give it all because it's in my chapter in the book, but so stop and smell the roses. And I really share how that was impactful to me and how it led to where I am and what I do today, which I absolutely love what I get to do, helping other women step out and birth their book.
So, which of course ties in with the very first question of mine on sharing your why. So, why helping people write the book? Is it because, like you said, you discovered writing because you have such a personality and you would make anything come to fruition? What was that point where what was your why for starting this particular journey?
So, you know what? For me in particular, so I always knew that I personally wanted to be a best-selling author. As a kid, I remember fantasizing. The idea I had in my head was I was going to have my laptop, I was going to be in a Starbucks cafe, and I was going to be typing the next best-selling book. That's what I had in my mind as a kid. And so again, climbing the corporate ladder, I put my dreams to the side because I was always busy, 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 work, work, work. Well, like I said, once I had my son, I got to settle down and actually write and birth my first book. Well, I went on my book tour that I created. In my mind, publishing other people's books was not even in my mind. It was just, I'm going to write my book and I'm going to publish my book and I'm going to be an amazing author, and that's it. But as I started to do my book tour, I started meeting amazing women. They were doctors, they had their master's degree, they were very intelligent, very vibrant, but they were also very scared. So when I would talk to them, they would say things like, oh yeah, I've been working on my book. And I would say, oh, well, that's great. Well, let me buy your book. You're buying my book. Let me buy your book. And then that's where they started to get quiet. Oh, well, my book isn't out yet. Or, oh, no one would want to read my book. That's when I started hearing the excuses. And it was like over and over again. So from place and place I would go to, these women would come, they would patronize me, they would buy my book, they would support me. But lo and behold, they had a dream of authorship, but that for some reason they were afraid. And I kept hearing that. So it all of a sudden went like eureka, like the light bulb went off in my head, not from a place of, oh, I better get this money, which that's good too. But it was from a place of, why are these women? These women are beautiful, they're smart, they're intelligent. Who told them they couldn't write a book? Who told them that it was so difficult they couldn't do it? And since I had already done it, it literally was a place of, hey, well, I did it. Let me show you how. And so I was able to gain my first client. That book became a bestseller. More people began to hear about what I was doing, and literally it just began to catch like wildfire. And within 1 year, I had produced 35 plus best-selling authors. For an individual
Wow.
publisher, I know you've got big juggernaut companies. In the U.S. we have the Randall House and all these big places, but for a one individual to help 35 people's dreams come true in a year, that's pretty freaking amazing.
It is.
And so I'm super grateful that that has taken place. And even now, I've got even more books, lined up to come out from women who have said yes. They've dropped the excuse, and now they are writing their book, and I'm getting to help that come true. So that was really my why. It started off being about me, but as I continued my journey, I found out that other people needed me to push them lovingly, to push them into their greater by writing their book. So that was really my why.
And how would you encourage other women, let's say not just now your clients, but other women to take that leap, to feel empowered to start their business? Because there could be insecurities, there could be things they are doing, but what is, when they are at that threshold,
Mhm.
what would you do to encourage them to start their business?
Absolutely. I would tell them, first of all, you've got to speak life over yourself. And what I mean by that, again, you must speak it. What you want, you talked about it earlier where you said bringing things into fruition or manifestation. I don't care what you want to call it. I believe in stepping big, bold out on faith. You've got to believe, because here's the deal, whoever's watching this, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. And it starts with you. You can't seek validation. See, the problem comes where people, business owners, whether it's a book or any business, we want to seek validation from other people. Well, let me see if she thinks I'm okay. Let me see if she would buy my product. Well, let me see. Oh, she wouldn't buy it. Oh, it's not a good idea. Who is she? The only she for the women that are watching this that you need to be concerned with is the she that you see in the mirror. I'm going to say that again. The only she that you need to be concerned with is the she that you see in the mirror, and that's you. And so you tell yourself you're great. You tell yourself that you're accomplished. You tell yourself that you can do it. You tell yourself that I will be successful. It's okay to be realistic. Some people will say, well, I'm not going to lie to myself. I've had people say that. It's not about lying to yourself, but what you got to do, the mind is so finicky, but it's so amazing that what you feed it, what you tell it, it will begin to do. So if I tell myself I'm great, if I tell myself I'm going to be a best-selling author, I tell myself I'm going to be an international bestseller, I tell myself I'm going to make $1 million, I tell myself I'm going to make $10,000 a month in my business, in my coaching, in my consulting, in my whatever I'm going to do, what happens is you don't even realize is your subconscious begins to kick in. Now you actually got to do some work, but you will begin to move that way because you're speaking it out of your mouth. So to answer your question, for that woman who says, I'm at that crux, I'm not really sure, I'm not really feeling confident, what I'm saying is, and I mean this in a respectful way, I don't care what you feel. I want you to speak it anyway. I want you to say it anyway. I want you to dream it and visualize it as if it's already taken place. You are that boss, that entrepreneur that you desire to be, but you've got to say it. It doesn't matter what I feel. There are times where there's been plenty of projects, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. I'm so busy. All the excuses want to come, and then I have to say, Nakita, you've got to take your own advice. You've got to drop the excuses, and I need you to boss up and get it done. And so I 9 times out of 10, unless it's some crazy emergency, I boss up and I get it done. And that's really what has blessed me in this journey and really with anything else I do in life. So that is what I would say to that woman. Start speaking life, start encouraging yourself now.
Fantastic, brilliant. So start encouraging yourself, Don't wait for validation and boss up.
Boss up, baby. Hashtag boss up.
That
Yes.
should be the
Hashtag boss up. Yes.
So now we're going to do some fun thing. We're asking questions for different social media, obviously, audiences of ours. So our Instagram users want to know of any one memorable or funny experience that you've had in the course of your career and your journey that comes to your mind.
Oh, you said funny. What would be funny? Funny. You know what? Funny. Oh gosh, it's a great question. Oh man. You know what? Let me just say this. I don't know if it would be funny. I would say it would just be fun. I know that's like, oh, we want some hilarious,
No,
right?
no, we want something memorable. So whatever
But just
comes to your
memorable.
mind.
Yeah. I mean, really the fun part for me, really and truly, and this may sound sappy, but it's the truth because it's the heartbeat of how I do my business is seeing that woman that I know originally was so skeptical, so afraid, so scared. So, I mean, literally, I have women, they'll email me or they'll DM me and they'll say, "Oh, Nakita, my book, oh, but I'm scared," because they're afraid of what people will think about whatever they had to say in their book. And so, long story short, when they go from that place and then now they're sitting at a bestseller, or now their books are selling out, or now they see that and they're in shock, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like tears of joy. I have so many testimonials or emails or DMs where women have said to me, "Oh my gosh, Nakita, I see my book cover, I'm in tears," or "Oh my gosh, Nakita," but they're tears of joy. So for me, the fun part really and truly is taking that woman who was skeptical, not necessarily about me or my talent. It's not indicative of me because I know I do my job well. I'm not worried about that. I don't remember that validation. I'm not seeking that. I'm only seeking she that I see in the mirror. So I'm not worried about that. But for her to be skeptical about her talent or what she can do, to now she's beaming bright and she's smiling and she's shining. And now I see her getting speaking opportunities and doing different things. That's the fun part for me. So it's not really funny, I'm sorry, but that is the fun part, and it really lights up my day. It really does. So yes, that's
Sure, the
exciting.
thought of it would each time. Yeah, I think that's brilliant. So now for our Facebook users, what is the one business value you stand by, or the one micro practice that you believe in? No matter what, you will not compromise on that one micro practice or business value.
Gosh, there's just so many things. Like I said, being a woman of faith, so my foundation is like for tough. So if anything, just for me being a woman of integrity, right? Because that's huge. Integrity is the thing that nobody sees, right? Because you could do it and you could quote unquote get away with it, because nobody would see, they wouldn't see, no, but I would know, right? God would know. So for me, being a woman of integrity, if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Integrity also means if I make a mistake, because I am a human being, and no matter how big or how small, that I do my best to correct it, right? As long as I'm notified or within reason, that I make it right. That's integrity. So integrity is more than for me, that's a non-negotiable. Even if you've paid me, some folks, well, you've already paid, well, we can't. I'm like, look, if it's within reason, it's a reasonable request, then I want to make it right. I want your experience to be well. Customer service is huge to me. I feel like a lot of companies miss that. They have a great product, they have a great service, but their actual customer service needs work. And so that's huge to me. But integrity is a non-negotiable. But that's also for me and my customers as well, my clients as well. So if you tell me something, then I'm expecting that you're going to do that. Because like I said earlier, doing books with the power of why, and any of the other books I'm a part of, whether it's an anthology or what have you, it's a sisterhood. My clients become, like my sisters, like my queen. So we laugh and we joke and we're on social media together, because they're all over the world. So we don't always get to see each other, especially with Corona. But so it's important that I like you and you like me. in my business. You know what I mean? Like I don't do business with everybody just because they have cash. You know what I mean? It's important for me that based on integrity that we connect and we bond so that we have a great experience. So that's a non-negotiable. You have to move with integrity. I must move with integrity.
Fantastic, lovely. And last but not the least, we have our LinkedIn people who'd like to know, how do you plan to adopt or adapt rather to the new normal in business? Have you seen any changes with regard to even your own business, and how are you planning to sort of adapt to those new paradigm shifts?
Oh, absolutely. Well, for me, the blessed part was I could do everything from home anyway, right? As long as I have a computer and some Wi-Fi, some Wi-Fi, then I'm fine. But there was a huge shift, and I'm so glad, don't get me wrong, COVID-19, horrible. I empathize with the lives that were lost and the people that were touched, and I pray for peace and all of those things for folks. But quite frankly, this time has been the most financial rewarding time in my business because people are having more free time and they're having time to write that book where they normally would be in an office and they're bound with all this work. They're at home, and now they're really beginning to think, about the meaning of life, the value that they bring. So they're wanting to write that book. In addition to that, you've got Zoom, you've got Webinar Jam, you've got all these different amazing platforms where you can hop on and host events. So the shift for me that I took, and I'm still taking, is I took my in-person events and I made them virtual. I mean, I know that sounds simply and easy put, but there's a lot of dynamics behind the scenes that you have to put together to make sure it flows. I hosted a international 5-day event, May 30th through June the 5th, excuse me, through June the 3rd. So it was a 5-night event. It was all over, but there were women from all over who were a part of that and who were speakers. And then we had the audience members. So you have to make sure all the logistics are still in order. But making that pivot really and truly has allowed me to double my earnings, double my revenue, great supplemental additional income outside of my publishing. So for me, it has been a win to transition online, shift to virtual events, and to really tap into the individual who's at home, because you can only do so much Netflix and chilling. Okay. You're going to get, they only have so much content for you. You might want to do something else. How about you write that book you've been saying you were going to write for the last 10 years? Why don't we actually complete it?
It's almost like you're talking to me. It's like you're literally throwing it at me, drop the excuses.
I'm coming by you. Come on, write that book, write that book.
So sure women must feel, because I'm feeling it, even when I read that one line of yours, it was like, okay, I think Nakita's talking to me. Like, I need to stop the excuses. And now you said 10 years, and it's literally 10 years since I've been.
See?
That's
See, look, and
funny.
I did not know that. I did not know that. She did not tell me that, y'all. But I'm telling you, two things. Like I said, I'm a woman of faith. Two things I pray for every day when I meditate and I pray and I read my Bible. I pray for wisdom and discernment, which it was a great fit to be in the Women of Wisdom, because I pray for wisdom and discernment, right? So not only that I have the knowledge, but then I know how to execute with that knowledge. There's a lot of people with knowledge, but and people way smarter than me, and I'm okay with that, because again, I'm not competing or getting validation from she over there, only she that I see right here. So that's all that matters. But I want to know how to apply. People lack application. They lack follow through. If you can apply what you learn immediately or very quickly and follow through, you will run laps around other businesses. Not that it's a competition, but you will run laps around your competitors. And so what really blessed me was, while people were trying to figure out, oh, COVID-19, what am I going to do with my business? I'm not afraid to fail. That's a big key to my success as a whole. I am not afraid to fail. And so, because especially women, and there's studies that show this, women will take a longer before they go for the next thing. I don't know where we were told in Girl Academy when we were kids somewhere that everything has to be perfect before you do it. It has to be this or it has to be that. It doesn't. I will, now don't get me wrong, I take the knowledge and expertise that I have, but I will go for it and I'll fix it along the way. Where some folks, oh, it needs to be perfect. I need to have this and I need to have that and it needs to be boop, bop, boop, bop. You know what? And you'll end up procrastinating. And one thing will happen, either you'll never do it or you'll do it and now it's not relevant. And so what you have is a lot of folks doing stuff and it's perfect and it's great and it's also not relevant. You see? So it's important for me. I'd rather err on imperfection. I didn't say trash. I'm never going to put out or do anything that's garbage, right? But it doesn't have to be perfect. I'll learn from the areas that were not perfect and I'll make it better when I do the next one, which will probably be very soon. And so that's the way I operate in my life. And, it's that bell-shaped curve. 80% perfect and ready to go, 20% I'll fix it along the way. And that allowed me to get the quantum leap in my business where people were trying to, well, what am I going to do? Well, we'll just cancel this and we'll cancel that. I just shifted. They cancel, I shifted. People cancel, I shift. And there's a difference. And that has been huge to my success, whether publishing or anything else you're doing. Don't cancel it, just shift it. And you can win too. So I know you didn't ask me that. I just totally went off the cuff there, but
No,
I hope that's blessing somebody. Yeah.
it will, because I think it's great, and it is about, and people will keep thinking, no, let's figure it out, or no, we were doing it that way and that worked for us, so let's wait till we can do that back again. So, like you said, cancel it or hold on and do nothing about it, as opposed to let's just shift it and see if there is something here. And you're absolutely right. I think that, like, I have noticed this even in the course of my career, and perfectionism has been my drawback. But fortunately, I've had great mentors who've brought that to my notice from time to time, every 1 or 2 years. And so I'm working on it. It's still work in progress. But I have started, it's like a little bit of a nudge that, oh, hey, wait, am I going down that route again? No. So it has to be progress over perfection. And I think that is the key.
I
In the last
that is a slogan in my life. I say it's all I'm about the progression, not perfection. Again, I strive to move in excellence, so I'm not sitting here saying put out trash or do junk, but that goes back to building that confidence and saying I am capable. If you sit down and think about all the skill sets and things you've learned along the way, whether it be in your career or in your business, the relationships, like you are way wiser, way smarter, way sharper than you ever would think or know. So I need you to walk in that authority. Like, I got this. Even if you don't got it, I want you to say, I got this. I got this. I got this. Now, look, when the camera go off, you can run around and say, oh my gosh, I don't have this. But you know what? I've got this. Just give me one moment. I've got this. And in that moment, you take a moment and think about what do you have, what tools, what resources are at your fingertips. You don't have to know it all. I don't have to be the highest or the smartest or the PhD in the room, which I'm not knocking that. I think that's amazing. God bless those women and you're fantastic. But do I know how to get to them? Do I know how to network and gain those resources? I don't. That's really a effective leader. You don't have to be the smartest or the brightest one in the room. You have to know how to delegate, and you have to know how to leverage other people's resources in a mutually beneficial way. I'm not saying be a parasite and you just use people. I'm saying, when they need you, you're there for them as well. But I know how to leverage my network. And because of that, I don't have to know it all. I know a queen who does, and I'll reach out to her. And because I have a relationship, real relationship, I can reach out, typically a phone call, a DM, an email away, and get the response that somebody else may have to go to Google and take another 6 months to get. But because I've got that insider connection, I have it in the next 15 minutes. And that's the difference. So, yeah.
And knowing so many queens anyway makes us royalty. So
Yes. Come on, come on, come
Yeah,
on. Yes.
yes, you rule.
And you know, I'll say this one other thing too, a huge win if anybody's listening, you know, your why to running your business, you know, don't be afraid to ask for help. Again, I'm really speaking to my ladies because many of us do suffer from like that perfection. Again, I don't know what girl academy we attended because I was in it too. I was in it too at one point. I really was. And it was like, it was almost like an OCD. And it's like, where is that? And I had to watch that. I have my daughter who's 12 and she's very brilliant, but she can fall into that sometimes. And I'm like, baby girl, I need you to get it done. So sometimes it may feel like I'm pushing her to like rush. I'm not rushing you, but I see that you're being so meticulous that it's not getting done. And I'd rather you get it in and get it done the way that it is than for you to take this time and now the deadline is passed or you don't get in the assignment. You see what I'm saying? So get it in, make it happen, and then figure out what you need to do to adjust the sales. Adjust the sales. That's it. So yeah.
It has been so lovely talking to you. And I'm sure this conversation in itself is going to inspire so many people to now read the book that we have co authored.
Yes, the power of why, baby.
Power of
Go pick
Why.
it up.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nakita.
Absolutely. Oh, and please let me just say, if you would like to follow me, let me just tell you, please do. If you want to reach out to me, everything is at Jesus Coffee and Prayer. So literally, that's one whole word together: Jesus Coffee and Prayer on Facebook, Instagram. That's my website, www.jesuscoffeeandprayer.com. You can slide in the DM, reach out to me. I'd be glad to help you and get you on track as well if I can do so. But make sure you pick up our book, The Power of Why. You will be blessed.
Thank you. Thank you. Obviously, the viewers now know where to reach out to you, and Nakita's there for you. Pick up the book because I'm sure that story is going to be even more enlightening. Thank you.